Tyler Freeman.
That is the most runs allowed by Seth Lugo this year.
The 98th pitch of the night was one too many.
Absolutely right. That just fired up that dugout.
And Schneemann is aboard with the Guardians' third consecutive hit this inning.
Runner at first, 2 down.
Low, ball 4. Tapper up the gut. Bobby Witt beat him to the bag, or did he? No, he did not beat him to the bag, and he threw it away, and the Guardians have taken the lead.
Bobby Witt on that chopper ran to second, but he did not beat Naylor evidently, and so he thought, I better throw to make sure, and then he threw it away to first. And the Guardians are now back on top 8-5.
Full count for Witt. And the payoff pitch. Book it. The Guardians strike the first blow in this matchup between Cleveland and Kansas City, winning the series opener 8-5.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I think really happened was Lofton broke for the ball. Bobby clearly went for the ball. So Bobby was probably thinking either go to the bag or flip it. And then when he realized he wasn't going to be able to do either, hurried and rushed, I don't know if he rushed the throw, but made an off-balance throw. And Vinny couldn't come up with a pick. So as far as how frustrating it is, yeah, I mean, that inning, we talk about it all the time, not giving away bases. So we had a great at-bat from Schneemann that, got on there versus Sammy, but 2 walks to load the bases, and then, the misplay. So it's certainly not a clean inning for us all the way around. So other than that, it was a clean game. So that is frustrating.
Now you just can't leave.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ. My name is Stephen St. John. Today I've got Nate Bukaty with me for a couple of hours. Mike Boddicker is going to stop by. Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest. Who else, Jake?
Oh, you don't have the rundown in there? Scott Sharp. It's on the printer. I'll have the intern go get it.
I like how you asked me if I have it in here.
I thought I'd put it in there.
But then you knew it was on the printer.
Oh.
I thought I had it memorized, but then
Well, that's my bad.
No.
That's an old day.
Yeah.
With Jake Gutierrez. I'll get your rundown.
And then Scott Sharp in the 9 o'clock hour. Man, I thought that this was going to be such a fun show to talk about Bobby Witt Jr. We're going to talk about Bobby Witt Jr., but I mean, to talk about Bobby Witt Jr. having a huge game against Cleveland and leading the Royals to a victory in the first game between the Royals and the Guardians this year. I thought we were going to talk about how Bobby Witt Jr. in his first real opportunity in a big game, a game that felt big, a game that was between the first place. Oh, hey, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
First place and second place team on the road. Hits a couple of bombs. Has a huge game. Seth Lugo shuts down the Guardians, and we're talking about the Royals going out and getting a huge first win against Cleveland. Bobby Witt Jr. still had a big game, obviously, offensively. And so don't let that get lost in all the mess. He went out there and put the Royals in a position to win. That's first and foremost. The kid was 3 for 5 with 2 home runs, 4 ribbies, and he helped give the Royals a 5-0 lead. And so before you want to crap on Bobby Witt Jr., and say that he lost the game because of his throwing error, which was which was a mistake. He admitted, he was very honest about it. It was a mistake. The Royals should have won that game. The Royals had a 5-0 lead, and Seth Lugo didn't do his job. If you give your ace, I'll be honest with you, if you give any of your starting pitchers, as well as the Royals starting pitchers have thrown this year, if you give them a 5-0 lead, that should be a win. Okay? That game was tied when this happened. Cleveland had come all the way back. Lugo blew the lead. He has been terrific this year. He has pitched like an ace. He didn't pitch like an ace last night. If he just pitches anywhere close to normal, just pitches okay, the Royals win that game. He didn't. He blew a 5-0 lead. I'm sure he'll be the first to tell you that he should have got that done. Now, who knows if he only gives up 3 runs and leaves the game, then the Royals bullpen, which, let's just be honest, is not very good. They might have blown that lead for him. So before you jump all over Bobby Witt Jr. for the throwing error, he helped build a 5-0 lead that the Royals pitching staff blew. Period. And so the Royals would not have had any chance to win this game without Bobby Witt Jr. They had no shot. Who else besides Hunter Renfroe drove in any runs? Or
Nobody.
did much at the plate? Michael Garcia, 2 for 4, 2 runs scored and a walk. He had a good night at the plate. Vinny Pasquantino, 0 for. Salvi went 1 for 3 of the walk. Okay. Velasquez, 0 for 3 of the walk. Lofton, 2 for 4, but nothing else. Adam Frazier, 0 for 4. Garrett Hampson, 1 for 4. No run production, except for Renfroe's home run. Bobby Witt Jr. drove in 4 runs, and it was 5-0 because of Bobby Witt Jr. And then it was 5-5 because Seth Lugo blew the lead. Then Bobby Witt Jr. made a bad mistake. A 3-run throwing error, and the rest is history. You also have to credit Cleveland. They're 40-20 for a reason. They have played like one of the best teams in baseball, and this is what they do. They are great at scoring with 2 outs, and they are great at comebacks. And they have a great bullpen. They have some really good individual offensive players, but they have a lot of holes in their lineup. They have a decent starting rotation. Not as good as the Royals, but their bullpen is great. And their ability to come back is terrific. And their ability to score runs with 2 outs is fantastic. And they're a really, really good team. And they've been there, done that. They have more experience winning than the Royals do. And so before you break your legs jumping off the bandwagon, unfortunately, the Royals have to go through some of this fire to get to the other side. They have to go through some bad losses. Bobby Witt Jr. has to make some mistakes in the field. He's not going to be perfect all the time. And we're talking about after they hit 2 bombs and drove in 4. It should have been enough to win that game. We should be talking about how the Royals won Game 1. Look, when you have a 5-0 lead and your ace breezes through the first 3 innings, that should be a win. Bottom line, it should be a win. But as soon as they got a 5-0 lead, it was 5-3. And then before Lugo left, it was 5-5. So if you want to point fingers, and look, I don't want to point fingers at either one of those guys because without Bobby Witt Jr. and Seth Lugo, the Royals wouldn't have 36 wins and wouldn't be in a position to make this a big series. And it still is a big series. Brady Singer, you're up. Go do what Seth Lugo could not do and shut down Cleveland. Brady Singer, go pitch like an ace. And we'll meet back here tomorrow and talk about the third and deciding game. And so, look, the Royals as a team, they have flaws. We know that. And they're no mystery what they are. It's how many national reports have you seen about the Royals searching for relief help? Right now, they know it. They were searching for relief help before the season started. They traded for Schreiber. They tried to acquire a closer. They didn't get it done. It takes two teams. It takes two to tango. So they know what their flaws are. They don't get enough production from their outfield. And their bullpen's not good enough. You're not going to get any arguments from anyone about that. Those aren't hot takes. They're trying to trade for relief help. Maybe as we speak. So they get it. They know it. Wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to find an outfielder as well. But we know that they are trying to add to the bullpen. I've heard it, and many national baseball reporters have written about it. So the bullpen's a problem. But last night, Lugo didn't get his job done. Bobby Witt Jr. made a bad mistake, and the Royals lost. To so far this season, a team that's been better than them. They haven't played each other yet. But again, Cleveland's 20 games above 500. This is what they do. They come back. They erase deficits. They score runs with two outs. And when they get a lead, they very rarely blow it. Emmanuel Clase, that was his 19th save. His ERA is .30. The Royals would like to have a closer who has an ERA of 3.00. His ERA is .30. He's pretty good. We saw Scott Barlow. His numbers aren't electric. He's pretty good still. I mean, we talked about this yesterday with Al Pawlowski. Their bullpen is elite. We've seen that before, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
We've seen that recipe. We've seen that formula. And I just be honest with you, once it was 8-5, like, well, I felt the way that I used to feel in 14 and 15 with the Royals. That game's over. Now, maybe every once in a while you can come back on the Cleveland bullpen, but it's just not going to happen very often. It's just not. But I'll be honest with you, I thought after Bobby Witt Jr. hit home run number 2, and it was 5-0, and Seth Lugo had thrown 3 perfect innings, like I was, hey, well, all right. Can't wait till 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'm watching the game on my phone, watching Julia at track practice with Hot Feet Track Club. I'm doing a few laps around the track. I got a little pep in my step. I'm watching another home run. I know these people in the stands thought I was crazy. I don't know. I'm throwing air punches on the track, doing a little kick, doing a karate kick. When Bobby Witt Jr. hit a second home run, like, what's this guy on? Someone get him off the track. There's something wrong with him. Oh, he's just watching the Royals game. Bobby Witt Jr. hit another home run. Look at him. Why is he dancing on the track? Get him off the track. And then there was no more dancing after that, by the way. Then there was just quiet watching. And then I did not like what I saw. But it's a reminder that it's a little different when you care, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll take that as opposed to the alternative of the Royals at this point being, 15 games under 500, whatever the hell they were last year, buried in last place, and it not mattering. Because I wouldn't have been watching while I was doing my laps. But the Royals are pretty damn good, and we care, and it sucks when they lose. And it really sucked when they lost last night, the way they lost it. That was as much of a gut punch as a game on June 4th could be. But they're back at it today. So, hey, you got to ride with Bobby Witt Jr., and that was all. The Bobby Witt Jr. experience was all wrapped into one game last night. He took us to the highs of highs with those 2 home runs. I was ready to tout him AL MVP. The things that were going through my mind that I was going to say on this radio show, and I should still say some of them, but I was, unbelievable. They're finally playing Cleveland, and this kid has hit 2 bombs already, and they're winning 5-0. And Lugo and Jake texted me and said, "Lugo's shoving." I go, "Jake, I didn't think you said that. Why you say that?"
It's a lie.
Embellishment. It's not a lie. I don't lie. I embellish. Never lie.
Okay.
And it's you really couldn't even enjoy it. Then it just 5-3. Okay. Crowd's in it. Then you're like, oh, okay. He got out of that bases loaded jam. All right. Then it was like, oh, okay. Got through 6. I think somebody asked you to score, 5-3 after 6. Let's go. And the next time I got around there, they asked you what the score was. I'm not. I didn't even know what to say. Error. So.
Well, if that bullpen that the Royals had back in 14 and 15 was there, Lugo's not going out there for the 7th. As he was under 100 pitches, and with the way the bullpen is, I'm not really going to second-guess Matt Quatraro for trying to get 7 innings out of him. But you were talking about the difference between the Indians, the Guardians.
How dare you?
The Guardians bullpen.
You know what?
No.
You step back in the first week, then you think you just say whatever you want on this show.
The Guardians. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, well.
Hot
Take Nate is
Hot
here.
Take Nate on this. What's the name of this show again?
Right. You're just combobulated.
I am.
So tell me about these Guardians of Cleveland.
The Guardians. Well, the whole conversation about the bullpen, the difference of it, The Royals seem like they're much more based on analytics these days, so I feel like you could have seen the Royals said, okay, look, Lugo's already gone through the order 2.5 times. Do we really want to make him go out there for the 7th inning? But with what the alternative is right now, the bullpen versus Lugo, you try to ride with Lugo. And I actually thought the pitch to Freeman wasn't a bad pitch. I'm interested to hear what Bod said, but it was a breaking ball. It was low. It was like out of the strike zone low.
That's also why I said you. This is what Cleveland does.
Mm-hmm.
They come back.
Yeah.
They erase deficits. They go look at what they do with scoring runs with 2 outs. This is their recipe. I think this is their 15th comeback victory.
Man.
We've seen this before, haven't we? Yeah. We've seen this in baseball before. We saw this in 14 and 15. The Never Say Die Royals. They would come back, never leave the game early. The bullpen's awesome. And I'm not saying Cleveland's exactly like those Royals, but
some of the ingredients are there.
Right.
Yeah.
They come back. They score with 2 outs. Their bullpen's lights out. So I get it. But still, it's just when you're up 5-0 and you got your guy on the mound, and again, I'll reference Jake. He's shoving with 3 perfect innings. You feel good. If I'd have called you guys and asked you after Bobby Witt Jr.'s second home run, what are the odds of the Royals winning this game?
Oh,
what percent would you have given it?
Oh, I felt great.
we were at a
What percent would you have given it?
80%.
Yeah.
I mean, like, right? Feeling great. I might have gone higher than that.
Yeah.
But obviously now knowing what 75. Now my dumb ass was probably like 95%, 98%. I don't know. Lugo looks great. Bobby Witt Jr. might hit another home run. I don't know.
We got in the car. We were at a kids' sporting event last night. We got in the car. It was 5-0. And, yeah, I was like, well, hey, I'm on at 6 a.m. tomorrow on New Day with SSJ. Let's go. I mean, that's how you felt. Yeah. Then by the time we got home, it was 5-3. Then we got the Bally Sports app on, and it was 5-5.
Things fell apart so quick.
Yeah.
It was such a turn of events.
Yeah.
So, but look, hey.
Is anybody really killing Bobby Witt Jr.? I mean, come on. If they are, come on.
That's what people do on social media,
Well, yeah.
No, I saw one guy said he choked. So
Choked.
Yeah.
That was a tough play.
He made a mistake.
Yeah. But, I mean, sometimes you make a mistake on a tough play. It wasn't like it was a
He got caught in the middle. He got caught in no man's land.
He was going to try to make the play at second base. By the time he realized I'm not going to get there in time.
Hey, it would have been a great pick by Vinny, but that was a pickable ball,
Right.
too.
Yeah. And by the way, there were 2 walks that came before that.
Right.
Free passes. Those are mistakes. He's not the only one that made a mistake, but I'm trying to remember who it was that was it Naylor that got second base before him? That was actually a good job of base running by him to get there as quickly as he did, because Bobby would, and that it was a bit of a chopper. If that ball gets to him a little faster, he can get to second base. But
it's 2 outs though, and he's got to know that.
Yeah.
And he said, just slow things down and throw the ball over to first base, and the inning's over.
Mistake.
But like the headline at MLB.com, cost us the game. Which error overshadows 2-homer effort? I don't like. It was tied.
I think those were his words right after the game too. I mean, he said it. I cost us the game.
Or it's in quotes.
Yeah.
But the game was tied by then. Lugo didn't hold a 5-0 lead. That cost him the game. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's been great. But they had a 5-0 lead.
Yeah.
That should have been enough to win. And it wasn't. So.
Well, today will be very interesting. See how they bounce back.
Today will be a new day.
Hey!
Wow.
Hey!
What do you say?
Look at that.
Man.
When there's a loss like that, you think tomorrow's always a new day with SSJ. Back after this on WHB. I'm stuck on you. Thank you, Jake. Come here and run your fingers through my long black hair.
I'm good.
That's some imagery for you.
Right.
You used to have some black hair.
Who did?
You did.
I don't remember that.
When I first started here.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. We'll get you through this. Don't be sad about the game last night. You can be mad for a while. But that's a great thing about baseball. There's another game tonight, and the Royals can even the series, and hopefully Brady Singer can pitch like an ace. And so we'll cross our fingers. Someone who did not pitch like an ace, it was disappointing last night, was Seth Lugo. He gives up a 5-0 lead. Let's hear what Lugo had to say after the game. I'm sure he wasn't very happy with his performance.
Pretty good pitches. Just chalked that one up to tough luck. Felt like I controlled the strike zone well and mixed my pitches well, and just didn't get the results today.
What going pretty well through three, and what kind of changed in the fourth for you?
Quan hit the double down line on a pitch a couple balls out of the strike zone, and then Ramirez did the same thing. I think that pitch was about 4 balls off the plate and just slapped through the hole. And then Naylor got a changeup out of the zone and hit that one. So, like I said, just tough luck. I was executing pitches, and 9 times out of 10, those pitches are going to work.
The homer to Freeman too looked pretty low in the zone. Is that where you were looking for that?
Yeah, it's right where I wanted. I felt like he kind of ran into it. I think overall the whole night was just bad luck. But I'm happy with where I'm at and how I'm throwing the ball. So I'm just going to stay right there and move on to the next one.
Did you feel good going into the 7th inning?
Yeah, I did. Especially with how many pitches and variations I'd shown those guys, I was comfortable going out there to face the next few guys.
What do you think his reaction of what he just said?
In terms of how he felt good, or in terms of how he felt like he threw the ball well but didn't get the results?
Just bad luck, tough luck. Freeman, he just ran into it.
I mean,
all the pitches are where I wanted them.
That pitch that he threw to Freeman was out of the strike zone. I mean, to me,
yeah, it was in the stands. Somebody took it over for a souvenir.
Yeah. But like, for example, the first home run that Bobby Witt Jr. hit was a hanging curveball right in the middle of the plate, and he crushed it. And I think that's one where the pitcher goes, well, that was a bad pitch. I left one up. You can't make a mistake like that to Bobby Witt Jr. The pitch that he threw to Freeman was a breaking ball that broke out of the strike zone, and Freeman went down and got it. Maybe he threw the wrong pitch, and maybe he shouldn't have thrown a curveball. Maybe he was looking for it,
He said the same thing about Quan and the double, and just.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes that happens in baseball. That is one of the things about baseball. That's why you play all these games, and that's why in a short series, it's you don't want to make too much out of a short series, because the game does come down to a lot of luck in a short game, hitting the ball where they ain't, so to speak. I mean, in a weird way, if the ball that's hit to Bobby Witt Jr. is hit better, if it's a hard hit ground ball, it ends up being an out, But because it was a chopper, he's safe, little things like that. There's a little luck involved. I felt like, I don't know, I guess I'm too big of a Lugo fan right now to get on him for that. He's had such a good season. And I wasn't at the time upset with them putting him back out there in the 7th. At the time I was all for it, but maybe looking back on it, you're asking for too much. I don't know.
Let's hear from Bobby Witt Jr. He had 2 home runs, 4 ribbies, and also had the throwing error that led to 3 runs. Here's what Bobby Witt Jr. had to say.
Made a mistake, cost us the game, and so should have just thrown the ball to first, make the play, and yeah, that's about it.
How much factor did Naylor's lead play into that? He was pretty far off the base.
Not as much as I just kind of slow played it and should have just made the decision to throw it to first.
Obviously, tough error there, but you had a pretty good day at the plate. What were you seeing out there against the pitching?
Yeah, just got good pitches over the middle of the plate and made some good swings.
How do you balance a day like this when you guys are in that position to be able to win it because of what you did at the plate, but then also obviously frustration with the defense?
Yeah, you learn from it, and you try not to make those mistakes. You got to do the little things right, and tonight I didn't, and so I just got to move on and learn from it.
Would you see out of Seth tonight being able to play behind him?
Yeah, he was doing his thing pretty much the whole game, and they made some good swings, and yeah, that's about it.
Did this game show you kind of what the series might look like, both this week, season overall against these guys?
Yeah, definitely. It shows that we're both going to be competitive teams, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Obviously, tough way to lose this game, but do you feel more confident about this team, where they're at, where it looked like you guys were going to win the rest of the game?
Yeah, 100%. That play doesn't happen. We may still be playing, so just got to move on and get back at it tomorrow.
I guess it doesn't matter what they say or how they answer, but I liked his answers better than Lugo's. Much better. But again, it doesn't matter what they say. I guess it just matters what they do. But I made a mistake. I cost us the game. Even though I don't believe that's true. The game was 5-5. And the only reason the Royals had a 5-0 lead was because of Bobby Wood Jr. But that's accountability. I like that. And again, Lugo's been terrific. And Lugo, there's nothing wrong with what Lugo said. It's just depends on, I guess, your philosophy and what you like to hear. Lugo is even-keeled. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and that's the way you got to be over a 162-game season. But I also appreciate Bobby Wood Jr. just not making any excuses. We hear a lot of excuses. Now he could have just bad luck. I had bad luck there. No, I made a mistake. I should have just thrown it to first base.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Look, Bobby Wood Jr. is obviously a very much like Patrick Mahomes in the sense that he, being raised by a big leaguer, being around guys, he knows what to say. He knows as the leader of the team, put all the responsibility on himself. Like Mahomes does that, right? Even when Mahomes threw that ball to MVS this year, that MVS should have caught. He's, I should have put more air under it, right? Just puts it on himself. I don't know. I'll defend Lugo a little bit. I don't feel like he's making excuses as much as just process and result. Like, I threw the pitch I wanted to throw.
Well, I'm not attacking him. You don't have to defend him. I'm just saying I like Bobby Wood Jr.'s answers better.
Yeah, I get that. There's a little different circumstances there, but
I feel like give Cleveland a little bit more credit.
Yeah, he ran into one. Yeah, that's true.
This market is luck. I don't think they're 40-20 because they're lucky.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, hey, I threw a good pitch and he still hit a home run.
Right.
Maybe that should be the answer.
Yeah, tip your cap to him.
Yeah, tip of the cap because I threw the pitch I wanted to throw and he still got me.
What's Quan's on base percentage?
Yeah.
What's Quan's on base percentage?
Pretty good. Let's see here.
It's exactly what we were told yesterday by Al Pawlowski.
It's
what he does.
Well, his batting average is 361.
Right. His on base is well over 400.
418.
Okay.
418.
So my point is that's what he does.
Yeah.
He hasn't been lucky all year.
Right.
I guess that's the only thing that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I'm not. You don't have to defend him. I'm not. Yeah. I prefer to have the way Bobby Wood Jr. handled it.
Yeah.
And Cleveland's a really good team, and sometimes Boddicker will tell you. Sometimes you make a good pitch, and the other guy hits it out of the park because he's good. Quan gets on base a lot against everyone because he's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think that it's really smart of Bobby Wood Jr. as well to not really talk too much about his big day at the plate.
No.
Because there are some guys that'll do that, right? The team loses, but I went 3 for 4. Let me tell you about all the big hits I got. I'm ready to answer questions.
Yeah, see, again, that's the thing that I don't know. I don't want this to seem like I'm criticizing Lugo, but no, I executed everything the way I wanted. Everything was where you wanted. Like, no. No, it's we're talking about results here. Maybe that's where you wanted it, but that's not where it should have been because you blew the lead. I don't know. We can all be irritated after that loss, but I like the way Patrick Mahomes handles things when he makes a mistake and the Chiefs lose. There's no question about accountability. And this is more about giving credit to Bobby Wood Jr. and not, Lugo's pitch. Lugo should still be the AL Cy Young Award winner at this point. Lugo should be an all-star. He's been fantastic. And he's not the superstar of the team and the leader of the team.
And he
Salvi is, but Bobby Wood Jr. has to be. He has to be the guy that says all the right things.
And Lugo wasn't supposed to be the ace of the staff.
Yeah.
Right? He was supposed to be a veteran that was a good, solid pitcher, and he's been the best. So he deserves a little slack too, but he I don't know. It'll be interesting to see at the end of the year where he is. Can he keep this up? I mean, obviously yesterday wasn't the best day, but
I think he'll be closer to what was. I mean, his numbers could be better. They'll be probably better than what they were with the Padres. He'll be good. He'll be a good, solid pitcher. I'm a big Seth Lugo guy. I loved when they signed him.
Yeah,
he was a terrific, valuable reliever that filled multiple roles for the Mets.
Yeah,
but he's only been a starting pitcher really for now 2 years. He started off his career as a starter, but predominantly he's been a reliever, and so he's never been anything close to an ace.
And so, and before the season started, the talk was Cole Reagans could be the ace, could be a Cy Young type pitcher. I don't think anybody was going, Seth Lugo, keep an eye out for him. So he's done really well, but it is frustrating the way that went down yesterday. Yeah. You get a lead like that,
you have to win.
Yeah.
Period. Back after this on New Day with SSJ. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. All right, I'm doing my complaining.
Oh, no, you're not.
No, you're right. Nate, who did you bring to work with you today?
I brought
Mike Boddicker.
I brought
Hey,
a
all
job
right.
shadow. Yeah, my daughter Ophelia is here. You know, this whole thing of me having some time in my mornings is causing me to spend more time with my kids, whether they like it or not. But Ophelia actually last night said, "Hey, Dad, are you going back into the station?" I said, "Yeah, but it's going to be at 6 a.m. Yesterday was 8 a.m. And she said, "Well, can I come in with you?" And that's the first time that's ever happened. So I said, "You sure you want to get up that early?" And she said, "Yep." She popped right out of bed and came in here. So she wanted to check out the show today.
It's a good thing you had a spare booster seat.
Right?
Yep.
You want to say hi on the air to anybody?
Come over here, sis.
Want to say hi to somebody?
Anybody want to give a shout out to?
What did you think of the Royals game last night? Did it make you mad when you lost? Yeah, I didn't either. Last night it was about 9.
I knew I liked that girl.
What do you like, sis?
That's a
It's
shocker.
a good girl.
That's a shocker.
That'll be the last time you're on the show. Oh, I'm just teasing. What else? What else do you like besides not sports? Like, what's your favorite thing to do?
This is a big music guy here.
Nope.
We're talking about the kind of music you like, TV shows.
What's your favorite music?
I like K-pop.
What about what's your favorite TV show?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know, I'm not big on TV.
What show you watching right now?
Young Sheldon.
Oh, Young Sheldon? I've heard good things about that. I don't really watch that. I've heard good things. Okay. All right. You're too old. Did you ever watch Bluey when you were a kid?
I still do.
They're coming to town. Bluey's coming to town for a live show. See that?
We've watched at least 10 different times.
Right.
Which one? I've watched them all too.
It was Granny Mobile.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the game.
So would you
I
go?
got 12 grandkids. I watch
That's
it.
right. Is that a concert you'd go to? Go see Bluey in concert? Or?
Absolutely.
Oh,
What
right.
concert are you begging Mom to get you tickets to right now?
The Olivia Rodrigo concert.
Yeah. You better beg Mom to get about $1,200 for 2 tickets. So. But you know, hey.
One weekend in New York. That's all it takes.
No,
In
here-
this time, it should be cheaper.
Oh, really?
Everyone has already spent their money on Taylor Swift concerts.
Well, it should be, but I've checked the prices, it's not. But guess what? You got access to that MLS money now, so you should be able to go with no problem.
That's right. One trip to New York.
You know?
Covers
Here's
the
what you
ticket.
do.
I don't like New York.
Right. No, I'm with you.
I knew I liked this.
I
girl.
know that. See, now you're making sense.
Why don't you
Okay.
like New York?
Where are the trees?
Yeah, exactly.
Central Park. That's it.
Here.
That's it. There's like a tiny square of trees in New York. There's no trees. How do you
Here's what you do, Opie. I want you to listen to my advice, okay? I'm good at this. I want you, sometime when you and your dad maybe later on today, say, Daddy, you make me sad when you leave town. And the only thing that can make me feel better is that you love me.
I've tried everything.
And try that repeatedly. I bet your daddy gets it. Huh?
Tell them what happened yesterday.
Wait,
What happened?
You had a competition yesterday.
yeah, I had a competition.
And
I got first place.
Oh, congratulations.
Kinda used to it by now.
Wow.
you so out.
You know,
Just
humility.
like the old man.
you know, Jake was in a dive competition in Wisconsin and he finished in last place.
Well, there were no winners in
You should
that.
talk to him about that. You know?
Everybody won.
Right. Well, okay. Well, good luck in your quest to go to the concert. I bet you go. I'm thinking you end up going.
I'm betting you do too.
Favorite Olivia Rodrigo song?
I don't know.
All of them. Say all of them. That'll get you in the concert. Say all of them. That's right. Yeah, we're talking. Very good job. Relax and listen to Mike Boddicker. Why? Huh? 'Cause I'm good. Okay. I thought they had him inside weapon. The guy was on the line. What went wrong with Lugo? Was it all just bad luck, like you said?
I would have never given Naylor anything to get when he was doing. Now with the guy behind him, he could eat that guy up. And he cruised through 3. Right. The thing that killed Lugo was that bases loaded, 2 punch out, get out of that inning. He was fried. He was gassed right after that. And I'm sitting there going, please. And I know our bullpen stinks. You could see when he walked up the mound, he was gassed.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I could tell. And I'm sitting there going, Matt, please take him out. I know our bullpen's not that great, but he's cooked.
Nate doesn't think you know what you're talking about.
I would have taken him out. There's time.
Go ahead now, Nate.
Push back.
Tell him
how many
he didn't
times
know.
have I talked about it's not the amount of pitches.
Right.
It's the stress.
That was a stressful
That
at-bat.
was the stress inning.
Take my hat off and my glasses now and see if you get that same vigor with Mike Boddicker.
No, I mean,
there was a multitude of things that happened in that game yesterday. Where was Frazier on the ground ball? Bobby Witt. He should have been standing on second. He never moved.
He was going for the ball. He was behind second base.
The ball was on the left side. What was he doing? No, that was wrong. Bad play right there. Bobby should have came up.
It was Lofton though, right, in second base? But it just...
Lofton, that's right. I'm sorry, not Frazier. Yeah. But still, you recognize right away, hey, it's going to be a bang-bang. Get rid of it, throw it to first guy. He still should have got it if the ball gets pitched. Right?
And now people want New Day with Opie and SSJ.
There you go. Here's the thing that nobody said anything about, which really shocked me. When Naylor slid into second base, his hand came up. That's interference. I'm sorry, guys. And he had to throw around that hand. That should have been called interference. Out, inning over. And nobody.
If I'm a Cleveland fan, that's a smart play.
It's a great play.
Does that ever get called? I'm trying to remember.
It has.
How often do you see
I've
that
seen
get
some
called?
there was an interference play that ended a game this week.
And our bench never questioned it. Not once. And I was ticked.
I like that.
I was ticked.
Okay, so Chris sent this tweet in. I'm not hating on Bobby, but I do have a question about philosophy in Major League Baseball. I was taught growing up that with 2 outs, you just throw to first. In MLB, though, I'm constantly seeing them go to second or third on risky opportunities instead of just going to first. Why is that?
I don't know. With Bobby's arm and the amount of time he had, even with him running to the bag and everything that went on, he still had him out of first base.
He said he just
come up and throw the ball to first.
Bobby said just slow things down,
throw the ball to first. That's what he should have did. He made a mistake right there. But there was a multitude
and he admitted it.
Yes. There was a multitude of things that went on in that play alone that could have changed it.
But when a guy makes an error like that, and people I'm sure are rolling their eyes, what else do you want him to do? There's plenty of players I've heard that don't have accountability. They don't just say, "Hey, I made a mistake."
Well, he knew he made a mistake.
Up.
Yeah, he admitted it. You know what? Anybody that hasn't made a mistake, raise your hand. I mean, come on.
Jake,
do not raise your hand. I've seen you make mistakes.
Guy left a rundown on the printer at the start of the show today.
I know, I heard. Didn't even have it in here. Everybody makes a mistake. That was a mental error on Bobby's behalf. That was all it was.
But there were multiple other mistakes made.
Yes. The whole game was like, after about the 5th inning, it was like, there was so many things going on. I found myself yelling at the TV. That was bad. I never do that.
Everything fell apart so fast.
It did. It did.
I didn't really enjoy the 5-0 lead for long.
Yeah, that
enjoyed it for a commercial break.
We should have won that game. And I've said this before. Every game matters. If we come down to the end and it's one game, this was one that we pretty much gave away.
We have Mike Boddicker in studio. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.